Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. Welcome back to your favorite show, the Cricket Happening Show with the host Ram. And what a match we had today. We were looking out for a mouth-watering clash between Australia versus South Africa, but I have to say it turned out into a very tame affair in the end, where the Aussies bowled out for 177 in reply to South Africa making 311. Now, talking about this particular game, let me start off with one thing. This was a relayed strip, and this is the 10th match of the World Cup, and was played in Lucknow. And there were already talks going on before the match hype, as we call it, that one does not know what to expect of this pitch because this pitch has been relayed after some controversy took place, as you would remember, when the pitch was deemed, ICC deemed the, I think, pitch not good for playing. Little did anyone know what to expect because it was quite a long time since matches have been played in Lucknow, and it was a relayed strip basically. So now let's look at the so one does not. So let's see what happened. Now here, this was the thing. Australian captain Patrick Cummins decided that he would field first. So the South Africans got to bat, and South Africans uh, really have to say punish the Aussie attack in such a manner that they got to a score of 311 for 7. I wouldn't say there was anything happening on the pitch when the Aussies were bowling. So definitely, I would say Cummins had that above the green. But what transpired after the South African innings was very interesting. The ball started moving under the lights. Now, this is something that probably the Aussies will be taking note of because they would be playing Sri Lanka on the same ground, I reckon. So, the ball started jagging in and jagging away, and that really started the problems for Australia because it was. If you look at the this World Cup, I had a feeling after South Africans made 311. I definitely made a tweet as well, and I said that it has become very commonplace in India that we are seeing in the World Cup tons of runs have been scored, and chasing 311. The other day we saw Pakistan set a record, and I thought a lot of records are going to be broken, and I thought Aussies will definitely challenge this. But what happened was, yes, credit to the South African bowlers, no doubt about it. We also have to bowl disciplined lines, which Lungi Gidi, Marco Hansen, Rabada, everybody came, even the spinners chipped in as well. But what is the key? The ball started moving under the lights. So the ball started jagging in and jagging out, and that really caused serious problems for Australia. And the Aussies were bowled out for 177. So looking at the story, well, as I said, the pitch was looking okay. Let's also attribute the 311 for 7 that South Africa reached. It was some atrocious fielding from the Aussies. Now, that is not something that you expect from Australia in a World Cup. And that's precisely what happened that really added to the discomfiture of Aussies. And that's the precise reason the South Africans totaled up 311 for 7. And at the top, they got a great start provided by none other than Quinton de Kock, who went on to hit back-to-back centuries in the World Cup. And what a century. He was just flowing. He was pulling, he was hooking, sweeping, reverse sweeping, driving, lofting, you name it, gliding, playing scoops, ramps, you name it, and he was playing all the strokes in the book. And what a knock from Quinton de Kock. The opening partnership, 108 in 19.4 overs with the captain Temba Bavuma at the other end with 35, 55, 2 boundaries, playing the sedate role. But Quinton de Kock was totally, really ranging against the Aussie bowlers, and he really made a magnificent century 109. And he can be a dangerous player, as we all know, Quinton de Kock. And probably this is the last World Cup Quinton de Kock is playing as far as 50 overs are concerned, because he has said he's going to retire from ODIs. So, but what a knock from Quinton de Kock. I mean, 109 runs of 106 deliveries, 8 fours, and 5 sixes. Take a bow, Quinton de Kock. After that, Van Rodersen made 26 of 30. But Aiden Markram, I mean, he has been looking so fluent in his stroke play, with all his classic strokes that he's been playing. And absolutely a treat to watch when Markram really starts stroking the ball, because he makes it look so effortless. And 56 of 44, 7 fours and 1 6 was the result of that free stroking. Klaasen came in, clubbed a few, 29 of 27, 3 boundaries. And then it was the turn of Marco Hansen to make 26 runs of 22, 3 fours, 1 6, and 311 for 7. Initially, when it was made, and looking at the way the South Africans were playing, how the pitch was playing, and everything, one would have deemed that for the Aussies, this should not be much of a problem. And I thought we were going to have a sort of a real challenging clash on hand, but it was not to be. Looking at the bowling from the Aussies, it was a 2 for 53 for Mitchell Starc, 9 overs on maiden, 53 runs and 2 wickets. So Hazelwood, 9 overs, 1 for 60. Glenn Maxwell. Now, let's talk about Glenn Maxwell. I mean, Glenn Maxwell is not the frontline bowler. Yes, he's a part-time off spinner, but he's doing a marvelous job in this World Cup. I mean, he's getting the wickets, he's containing the runs, and that's what he precisely did. In a score of 311, to bowl 10 overs, 1 maiden, 34 runs and 2 wickets is something marvelous, according to me. Great job by Glenn Maxwell. Pat Cummins, taken for plenty, 9 overs, 1 for 71. Adam Zampa had his task really cut out, and he was blasted. 10 overs, 1 for 70. Mitchell Marsh, none for 6 of solitary over, and 2 overs, none for 11 for Marcus Stoinis, which is good to see Marcus Stoinis enter the team. Now, Australia, as I said, 312 to chase under the lights, 311 to chase under the lights, 312 to win. And well, if you look at the story, I mean, let's talk about the bowling first. Lungi Giri, what a magnificent bowling! I mean, initially in the power play overs, the Aussies were totally throttled by the bowling. One from Marco Hansen, who was moving the ball at great pace. As I said, the ball was moving all around under the lights, and Lungi Giri was simply superb. I mean, I've rarely seen Lungi Giri hit a very good line like this. And, he was doing a great job. I mean, he was opening the bowling. Kagiso Rabada was not given the new ball. And I thought that was a good move by Temba Bavuma, as Lungi Giri shared the new ball with Marco Hansen. And he started to make the ball really talk. And the Aussies batsmen, the openers, David Warner and Mitchell Marsh, were not given any freebies. I mean, either the ball was, you need to bowl with discipline. It's not easy. But, and coupled with that, at the moment that they were getting, that was making it extremely difficult for the Aussie batsmen, the openers, especially Mitchell Marsh and David Warner. And they were definitely getting the balls to really come in. They were bowling good lengths, and it was an absolutely pleasing to watch. And as I said, the Aussies, in the quest for the chase of 311, found it very, very tough. And then then we thought that David Warner was just getting to terms with it slightly. And Lungi Giri, in 3 overs, he had just given away 4 runs. And look at his bowling analysis. He ended up with 8 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 18, his bowling spell. Marvelous spell there. And then things started happening. Then the wickets started falling. Now, Mitchell Marsh, he's a dangerous batsman, but, this is his second failure. 7 of 15 deliveries, and he was a goner. He holed out to of the bowling of Hansen. David Warner slashed at a ball from Nigiri. Nigiri getting rewarded for his efforts. 13 of 27, 2 boundaries. Stephen Smith, there was a bit of a controversy, one could call, but again, when it goes to the third umpire. I mean, they are looking at the screen, they are looking at the ball tracking, they are looking at the trajectory, they are looking at every bit of it. So I don't think there'll be, I mean, one can't dispute it because there is someone who has been kept, because the naked eye can't detect it at such speed. We have a sort of a real, like another monitoring which is going on, which allows them, like ball to ball movement of the ball to determine whether either the ball hit the bat, ball hit the did not hit the bat, or whether it was LBW. So I think in the context of that, one has to accept it, whether whichever be the team. So and Stephen Smith was one victim. He was adjudged LBW to a bat of 19 of 16 balls. And then, to add insult to injury, Josh Inglis lost his stumps to Rabada for 5. And then after, as I said, after Nigiri and Hanson did a great job, it was the turn of the experienced Rabada to get into the mix. And he started doing immense damage. He picked up Stephen Smith. He clean bowled Josh Inglis. Glenn Maxwell, by the time Glenn Maxwell came, and Glenn Maxwell also, they could not force the pace. I mean, they were under serious pressure. I mean, 60, they were 56 for 4 when Glenn Maxwell entered the scene. And then the spinners came in, as one would have expected. And Keshav Maharaj got a real dolly from Glenn Maxwell. He pushed at him and he was a goner. After that, Stoinis, another controversy, whether the ball hit his handle. What happened, one does not know. But, well, finally, they had a look at it 2 times, I reckon. And out came the verdict that Marcus Stoinis had to walk. Caught de Kock bowled Rabada for 5. And as I said, the Aussie innings, never really took off, barring Manas Labuschagne, who contributed 46 of 74 with 3 boundaries. He was a victim of Maharaj as well. And Mitchell Stark making 27 against the losing cause. And then it was always going to be when the top crop of the batting order has been wiped out, what would you expect from a lower order? Pat Cummins 22, Zampa was not out 11, Hazelwood was the last one out to Shamsi, and it was all over for the Aussies. They were bowled out for 177. South Africa registering a massive win over Australia by 134 runs, and they are at the top of the pile in the ICC Cricket World Cup. And Aussies have a real soul searching to do. They have 2 games coming up against Sri Lanka and Pakistan. But let's remember one thing, they already lost the match to India. So they are under severe pressure, serial World Cup champions. Looking at the bowling, Marco Hansen, well, he leaked runs, but I thought in the power play, he was an able foil for Lungi Giri. 7 overs no made into 54. And also Lungi Giri made very good use of the bouncer. He bowled some wonderful bouncers to the batsman as well. Kagiso Rabada, 8 overs made in 33 runs, 3 wickets. Keshav Maharaj, 2 for 30. And Tabraiz Shamsi, 7.5 overs no made in 238. What a match. I mean, one would have expected a much, much better competition here. But I think I have only one thing to say, that again, it was something that Lucknow pitch, one didn't know how it is going to behave. So I think it really caught probably the Aussie skipper Cummins by surprise, because he basically, as I said, he got the rubber green. He decided to insert South Africa, but probably would have not expected the ball to have such movement under the lights, which we have not seen. I mean, that is not something that is being evident in the current World Cup, with all the matches that have been happening. So today was an absolute surprise, according to me. But definitely, as I said, you can always get movement, but unless and until the bowlers actually stick to a good line, and that was what I said. It was a disciplined bowling performance from South Africa, and that's what helped them clinch the match. And well done, South Africa. And well, tomorrow's game that is coming up is between New Zealand taking on Bangladesh. Well, dear fans and subscribers, I'll be back tomorrow with my cricket show once again. But I mean, what a game! I mean, Aussies have 2 big matches coming up now. They have to really pull up their socks. One is against Sri Lanka, and then the next game is against Pakistan, who are already doing well. So, so definitely task is cut out for the Aussies, and South Africans are really, really looking a real team here in this World Cup. Well, dear fans and subscribers, again, absolute pleasure bringing you the cricket show as usual, and looking forward to your company once again tomorrow when I'll be back narrating the tale between New Zealand and Bangladesh. Till such time that happens, this is your host Ram signing off.